Just to... Hey everyone, we are here with Janet Tanguay, and she is the author of Hammock Way of Life. Janet, it's so great to have you on as an Action Takers author. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey in writing this book and how did that start?
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Sally. So it's been so interesting. I started writing during the pandemic, and then I discovered it on my computer. I was actually cleaning out my files, and I had discovered that I had this file in there. I started reading it, and I thought, this is still relevant to today. And so I reached out to someone who's a book coach to teach me the different kinds of publishing that were available. And, traditional publishing, hybrid publishing, and self-publishing. I've self-published children's books and some business books in New York, but I really wanted to go down a different path this time. And so I needed to understand what traditional publishing looked like and what hybrid publishing looked like. So I learned that, and then I discovered Kathy Dirksen, who invited me to be part of an anthology, and you, who invited me to be part of an anthology. Yours is called Unstoppable Women in Business, and hers is From Inspiration to Success: The Entrepreneurial Journey. And what you both told me was that if I wrote a chapter in both of those books, that it could potentially lead to my memoir, which is part memoir, part business book, part journal. And that was an evolution as well. It started out as a memoir, and then I showed it to somebody who was an advisor and said, there's a lot of business tips in here that really could be helpful to people. So I put those in there. And then it was Linda that said, this could potentially be a journal as well. So that's what it became, and the process was amazing with you guys, from designing it to getting me on multiple billboards, both with a photograph and a video. And so it's been a powerful journey with you all.
Yeah, you were on a New York Times billboard. How did that feel?
Incredible. I never thought in a million years, right? It's sort of the dreams are happening bigger than what I've even dreamed. And so, yeah. And the minute I posted it, I heard from people that I hadn't heard from in a very long time, people I went to high school with. And so that was just fun to reconnect with so many people and have people notice that. So that was fun.
Yeah, and you had your Hammock Way of Life book up there. That was so cool. That was so cool. And
Yeah.
with your live, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It ended up, this is so funny. It's all happening at once, kind of, but I was at the largest vision board workshop that I've had so far in my business. That's what I do, is I help people manifest dreams faster through vision boarding. And we were doing one with some group of volunteer attorneys. And we had a team of about 7 certified vision board coaches with my company there. And somebody got wind of the fact that the billboard was happening at the same time, and they said, you need to leave and go get a photo. And I had committed myself to the workshop, but they really pushed me out the door and said, you need to go get this photo. So one of my coaches said, I know the way to Grand Central Station and Metro North, and we'll get you there. And so she escorted me to Times Square. We went to get the photo, and her daughter was with us, didn't really know me, so we missed it the first time. So our batteries were running low. It started raining. We finally got the photo, charged our batteries at the AT&T store right next to there, and then there were photographers on the street that could help you out as well. And so we
Right,
got this
right.
great photo, and yeah, and then we headed back I'm in upstate New York, so we headed back up. So it
Right.
was great. Yeah,
That's
yeah. What a
awesome.
day. But it was so cool. We got a great photo, and the day was just fun, all of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. So tell us about the process of writing the book. You wrote this book. What are some of the things that you learned? And I know you got some like quirky and fun chapter titles. How did that whole process of writing come about?
Yeah, well, some people advise me that it would be good to write my own story, but also include other people's stories in there. I've worked with probably 1,000 businesses in my lifetime, and they said, telling other people's stories too would be helpful because it helps promote the book. They'll buy it, they'll tell their friends and family to buy it, and their stories are interesting too. So it's a compilation of stories about entrepreneurship. So I happen to have the book in front of me. Some of the titles are, I think the first title chapter here, hang on if you can bear with me here, it's called Striptease and Charcuterie. And it's about an entrepreneur who gave a business presentation, and he did a little bit of striptease, and it'll share a little bit more about his story in the book. And then can't sing, can't dance, what do you do? Has to do with I'm related to the highest paid vaudeville singer in her day. Her name was Eva Tangway, and she really couldn't dance and couldn't sing, but she made a lot of money in her lifetime. So just different tips and tricks when your box falls apart. Um, Hee haw, new sign coming soon, dead fish, crazy titles, but the stories are very funny. So if you like humor and also business advice all mixed into one, it's an entertaining book.
That's great. So, for someone who doesn't know, what does hammock way of life mean?
Yeah,
What does that entail?
it's a good question. So it's a metaphor for living the life that you want. My dream is to be in a hammock more often. And I think people that are close to retirement and close to, I mean, understanding just a relaxing sort of life, understand that. But if your dream isn't to be in a hammock, it's whatever your life is. So we help people manifest dreams faster through vision boarding. And vision boarding is a process where you kind of either cut out or digitally make a collage of all the dreams in your life and then take action steps to get to where you want to go.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So, tell us maybe a little bit more about you and your business.
Yeah, so we started doing vision boarding in companies again during the pandemic, and we did it virtually then. And then when we were coming out of the pandemic, some people decided not to do their businesses and they went into big corporations. So they invited me in, knowing that I could do that to work with teams. And I get so busy now between like November to April that I needed help doing that. I needed help from other certified coaches, but there wasn't a certification out there. So I created a certification. And because my methodology includes both business models and also what I call woo. So this where science meets woo. We can bring in creativity, we can bring in uh, uh, all sorts of things, Legos, improv, sound healing, because I'm connected to so many different coaches with different things. And we can also bring in disc assessment and Myers-Briggs. And so we do corporate workshops now and team building and strategic planning. And we did one with a group of insurance folks who gave a bonus out after doing vision boarding. And they hadn't done it before. A lot of corporations have never taken the time to really sit down with their team and vision what their team wants for their life. It empowers the team. And I say to people, I'm guided by goosebumps now because there's been such epiphanies that people have through vision boarding that they invite us in again and again. So now we have 100 certified vision board coaches internationally from around the world. And they're not my employees, they're independent contractors that are making money, independently. And we collaborate on lots of things. We have lots of things in the works. One of them is called Energize Your Vision. And people who have completed a vision board can come in and we have coaches who guide them on how to get there and how to connect them. But it's like a collaborative effort to help people and their dreams.
Yeah, yeah, that's so cool. I love vision boards. I had one that I had done years ago, and then I found it and I was like, oh wow, well, a lot of these have actually happened,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And be careful what you wish for. I talk a little bit about it in the book, but one year I put a picture of a Buddha in the board. To me, that meant slow down, meditate, do some yoga. And I ended up at the largest Buddha temple in China. Another year I put a car that I wanted that I couldn't find a picture of the car I really wanted, but I put this other picture and I ended up with this gorgeous car that I found, a couple of years later. I didn't realize it, right? So.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So do you want to share maybe one story from your book, not to spoil the whole thing, but is there one story that kind of stands out that you want to share with the listeners today?
Yeah, yeah, sure. So it's around fear, and I learned about fear in the third grade from a wonderful teacher who's since passed away. His name was Mr. Sharon, and he came into class one day, and I don't even know why he did this really, but it certainly taught me a lesson. So he had a paper bag, and he held it up in front of the class, and he said, "Whatever is in this bag." Someone is going to have to eat. So I want everyone to stand on their feet. And if you're scared of eating what's in the bag, sit down. Well, right away, some people sat down. I don't know what they imagined it was in the bag. So then he said, it could be bugs. And so a few more people sat down. And then he said it could be, liver or, he said some foods that maybe kids wouldn't like, right? And so a bunch more sat down. And then it came down to myself and one other kid, the kid who happened to be bullied in school. And he slammed the bag on the table And I don't know what came over me, but fear came over me. I thought it could be a ruler. Thought I could choke on it. And he looked over at me like, don't go down now. Like, you made it this far. I could tell. He didn't want me to sit down, but I was, for some reason, fear overcame me. And so I sat down, and then he pulled out the biggest, most beautiful lollipop I'd ever seen. And that's what Paul Comparoni got that day, was this beautiful big lollipop. So for me, it was about fear. And I think when entrepreneurs are thinking about, or people are thinking about leaving jobs, or transitioning in part of their lives from anything, a relationship or whatever, you're overcome by fear of what could happen next, and sometimes they're not aligned with their inner spirit. And so it was a powerful lesson around fear, and so how I try not to let that get in my way anymore.
Yeah, yeah. And that's something that, Linda talks about. That's her, her thing is, her book is Do It Because You're Scared. And it's all that facing your fears. And I think, a lot of times we don't realize how afraid we are
Yeah,
of of success a lot of times,
yeah,
and of, of course failure, but I think a lot of times we're more afraid of success,
absolutely.
so
Yeah, yeah, afraid of our own success, 100%. Yeah, and I just have felt, I've learned this over the years. I've had, I mean, all entrepreneurs I think have this, where there's ups and downs, right? It's a roller coaster ride sometimes. But if I learn to trust it, I'm always okay. And that was a hard lesson in the beginning. I thought, oh, what's next, and what am I going to do? And inevitably somebody came along who wanted me to coach with them, or they just help get me to that next point, and I never needed to panic. And so I really try to remember that now, and not to have fear around it, and not to be afraid of my own success with this stuff, with the billboard and all that. It's hard. I'm someone who likes to be sort of cheerleading other people in the background, and I've had to be in the spotlight. And so, but it's been enlightening and helpful, and I know it's helping someone else see possibilities.
yeah, well, we're talking to Janet Tanguay, and she is the author of Hammock Way of Life. If you want to learn more, go to hammockwayoflife.com. And what will they find when they get there? Hammockwayoflife.com. What?
Sure. Yeah, they're going to see our creativity mastermind group. They're going to see a list of our creativity and certified vision board coaches, a speaker dashboard. They're going to find out about their life purpose, and the store is where our books are held. So lots of
Yeah.
books and journals on manifestation. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So, what do you want the reader to take away from reading this book?
That anyone can make their dreams come true with a little focus and a little bit of our tips and tricks, which we divulge in the book.
Awesome. Janet, if someone wants to connect with you, what's the best way to do it?
Probably hammockwayoflife.com, or I'm Jazzy Jan on LinkedIn. I can be found on all the platforms. So Hammock Way of Life on all the platforms.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for being an Action Takers author and for publishing this book. It's so needed in today's world.
Yeah, thank you for guiding me all along the way. You've been terrific to work with. Thank you, Sally.
Awesome. Awesome. Take care.